This is Shafiq and I'm
Yes.
Fauzi. Yep. So anyway, for today's topic, we'll be talking about national service. And national service, as in the whole of the three forces, the army, SCDF, and the police force. So anyway, let's talk about the first thing. We can start from the bottom, the part as in pre-enlistment, and then slowly we'll go up until the
ORD.
ORD,
Yes.
reservist, and ROD, which we have not
Already, we
experienced.
haven't. I haven't even start my reservist. How about you?
Yeah, I haven't even start my first.
I don't know when they
I
will call
hope
me. I think they forget about me. I think they forgot my number, everything.
hopefully they forget forever lah.
So when how to say when you enlist into whichever forces, both of us, by the way, Fauzi and me, we were in SCDF, and we enlisted in the same place, in NSTI, National what
National Service
Training Institute. Yes, National Service Training Institute. To me, all three forces, I think they have the same kind of enlistment procedure, where you bring your family or friends along. If you have, if you don't have, you go alone. And then you pass your IC. You pass the IC to them, meaning that you are born forever lah. For these 2 years,
Yeah.
you are now a serviceman, and you won't get your IC back. You won't. You get to see your IC back
You are the
until
country's slave.
until the end of the 2 years lah. And you say hi, bye to your parents, whatever. Like you're not gonna see them forever, but by end of 2-3 weeks you will see them again lah. It's just 2-3 weeks or a few weeks. I don't know. For the army, maybe a bit longer. But for me, it was 2 weeks of stay in before I go home. I think the in the past, our parents, the previous generations, they stay in longer. If I'm not wrong, they had to stay in for their whole BMT or BRT,
Oh.
which was about, I don't know, 4-5
5
weeks
weeks,
of stay in, which
yeah.
is quite long to me. But to me, stay in for 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of your NS isn't that bad. It builds you up lah. So you know how NS is gonna be like. You know what's gonna come to you.
Like the taste of NS.
Yes,
Yeah.
the taste.
Yeah.
So this 2 weeks, the taste is gonna be like sour, salty lah. It's not gonna be sweet. You're not gonna like it. I was okay with it, but it could be better. But at the same time, if I
Could
say
be
it could be better, if I say it could be better, then it's gonna be too lenient. I think for
Yeah.
what I experienced is already good enough. If it's too relaxing, then
And it's not NS.
yeah, that's not NS.
Yeah.
That's what NS is supposed to be about. You as a young man supposed to be ready for adulthood. You're still young, although you just reach your adulthood. You're still young. So NS really prepares you for more in life. NS is not just serving your 2 years in slavery or whatever you want to call it. Some people might say NS is waste of time. You don't get paid enough, whatever. But you must think about what you go through in NS, what you experience. And for both me and Fauzi, we really experienced the 2 years of NS. I would say that we experienced quite a lot, and most of it is good things. I take it positively on what I experienced. Like NS teaches you to be responsible, teaches you to be brave, courageous, to be more of a man type of character. I'm not trying to be sexist or whatever what men should be, but also the thing is about being an adult. As you're an adult, you have to be more independent, and that's what NS teaches you. You cannot look down to yourself and be upset when you have to overcome a challenge, and then you don't have the mindset to get through it. Like in NS, then you won't get through it in real life too. So I would say NS is quite important. It was important to me. So
For
about
me,
you?
for me, I find NS really depressing. Cause before I got enlisted, I after I graduated from my school, it was like I think 6 months or 8 months gap before my enlistment. So before that, I asked for advice what I should expect and all, and then they told me lah that I should train on my push-ups, on my fitness, and that's exactly what I did not do. So yeah. Anyway, when I got enlisted, I don't even know what to expect, because all the guys that all the uncles that I talk to, they got enlisted into the army. So everything they talk about is army, and there's only my older brother who went into NCDF. So I only got a few advice from him, but basically that did not really help. And then when I first on my first day of enlistment, it's like a culture shock to me, like, because the day before that I was watching YouTube and playing Dota. And then the next day I got I kena tekan push up, which is a piece of shit for me lah. Like,
Similar.
yeah, it's like a shock. And then suddenly, like, oh shit, I did not even train for my 2.4, and then they asked me to run, and then I turned up to be the last person on the line. And then I still remember the instructor, one of the instructor, he was running beside me. So anyway, I was in the BRT, what they call fit squad. So this instructor was running beside me, and since I was the last one, he looked at me and screamed at me. He said, "Hey, you fit squad ah?" And I was the last person that I couldn't run as fast as the others. So at that time I told myself, the next time anything, it teaches me something lah. It teaches me that the next time I have to be mentally prepared for something that I know will come in the future. In terms of fitness or whatever. Yeah.
So like your preparation game isn't really there.
Yeah. That's something that I regret lah. Cause when I was schooling, I actually did lots of sports and gym, but I don't even know why before enlistment I became lazy and decide to fuck it. I can just train during NS, which is a bad idea lah. Yeah.
For my preparation, I would say I didn't ask advice from anyone at all. I didn't care. To me, NS was similar to a bit like NCC, because I was in NCC during my secondary school time. NCC stands for National Cadet Corps. It's basically like army for the kids.
For the kids.
And so there were like physical training and all that lah. And I know if I go to NS, there's gonna be physical training. There's gonna be a lot of it. Did I train? No, I didn't. I didn't physically train for NS, but I mentally trained myself. I know what I'm gonna expect. I know there's gonna be marching. I know there's gonna be a lot of physical endurance. I know they're gonna push me to my point. But that's about it. To me, my mentally, how to say, I was prepared for it. Physically, I wasn't, but slowly, my body get used to it. My brain was really used to it. I know what I'm gonna expect, so it wasn't really difficult for me. So that's about it lah. Even though my physical fitness during NS itself wasn't that good, like you, I was one of the few last or whatever. I look fit, but yeah, I wasn't fit. I didn't. How to say, my PPT, I didn't pass that well. I think I either pass or borderline fail, which was pathetic lah. I look fit, but yeah, I wasn't just. I just wasn't fit lah.
Your batch, was it the five station, or was it changed to 3 station?
three station, if I'm not wrong. Yeah,
Huh.
I think your batch is 5 station, right?
Yeah, and I failed my standing broad jump.
Same.
Always.
My batch 3 station. I think it was the first batch that went 3 station only. We
Oh, first
we never went first 5 batch. Yeah. We never went 5 station.
Uh,
3 station to me okay lah, compared to five station. The other 2 station they took away was standing broad jump and shuttle
Shuttle
run.
run,
Yeah, to me I can ace that. Shuttle run, standing broad jump, I can jump, I have long legs, I can run. But I'm not a marathon runner. That's why 2.4 I always fail. Why didn't they ever take 2.4 out? Like, bring back shuttle run or whatever lah. You can decrease the timing or whatever. But I don't want 2.4. 2.4 sucks. I hate running. And on 2.4 I'm always one of the few last lah.
so okay, and then let's talk about the differences between SCDF, police, and the army. On social media, even on TV, you have our boys to men, and now we have our boys to men 2, 3, 4, now frogman and everything.
Oh man, I'm so sick of it.
Don't you think that the media should at least concentrate on the home team also, and like everything is about the army nowadays.
Yeah, I feel like FCDF or SPF is underrated. They are not. People don't know that we exist. Although that, fun fact, I don't know if people know. SCDF and SPF make only about 10% of the national servicemen, and the rest 90% is mostly army, including Air Force or Navy. But you have to enlist as an army lah, in the army. But yeah, 90% of that army lah. And although we are only the 10%, we should at least get some credit
Recognition.
or recognition lah. Like that's what you said. Boys to Men is always about army, about the
Navy
frogman,
lah, yeah.
Navy. But me as SCDF man, we would like to see something for the home team out there, for the SPF or CDF. Maybe, I don't know, a short movie or whatever lah. At least something, right? Maybe I don't know.
Provost jaga the gate. Stop the civilians from coming in. That's NS.
That also can lah, or they can bring in SPF and SCDF into one
Collaboration.
movie. Yeah, collaboration or something. Easier for them. Then perhaps I will definitely watch, and perhaps people will know us more. People will
And our duties.
be curious about us more. And that's what I want to see, which to me Singapore is lacking of. They're always focusing more on army. And even my friends always talking about army, whatever. And yeah, even I'm not in the army, but I know how army is like.
Because everyone is talking about
everyone's
army.
talking about them. Movies about them, advertisements,
Social media,
social
your
media is
friends.
always there.
It's almost everywhere lah.
Yeah, I barely see any from SPF. I always want to know how SPF is like.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know how their training is like. Probably similar like CDF lah. Training is very simple. They have to of course learn about the laws, whatever. But I don't know like how their training goes. So who's allowed to carry a gun, who's allowed to carry a baton, the stun gun or whatever, who's allowed to carry this and that. Because you can see outside the police patrolling, some of them doesn't carry a handgun, doesn't carry a baton, whatever. So I don't know, how do they train with all these kind of weapons or what equipments they use. For SCDF, of course I already know how they train with these equipments, because I train with them. But for SPF, I don't know, and I don't think people who weren't in SCDF know how SCDF trainings are like. Also, they think like, oh, SCDF is always about
Play
firefighting.
water.
Yeah, play
Just spray
water,
water.
shoot water.
Actually, there's more than that.
Yeah, it's more than that.
Okay. During your recruit days, right? I think all the forces experience this, before or when you got enlisted, and then they meet your parents, and then they took them to a tour of the bunks and everything, and then there are also some things that they showed to our parents that we actually did not even get to experience. Like my parents said, "Wow, your as in like us from SCDF." My parents was like shocked. They say, "Wow, nowadays your NS you got library." You got, yeah. Wow, you got TV all.
The only time we use the library, I don't know about you. My batch, the only time we used the library was my whole company or platoon lah. We took a break. We took a break before, I think, POP, before POP marching. It's like after we train already, then we have to wait for, I don't know, like the minister or the commissioner. So we have to rest, but we cannot rest on the event ground itself because they're setting up and other company are also practicing. So I think we went to the library, my whole platoon or company, I don't know, it's quite a lot. Probably my company. We went up and we basically lepak there at the library. We didn't read books or whatever. We slept. We slept in the library. I don't know if you're supposed to do that or whatever lah. But that's the only first time I went to the library, and
First
it was
and the
like
last. After that POP already.
yeah, after that POP already. So what? I'm not gonna come back to the library. I think the library is meant for, more for guests lah, more for
Or officers to do their
officers,
whatever research
I
they
think
are doing.
officers also no time lah. They got their own laptops.
What books they want to read, yeah?
Yeah, it's
Jack and the
just
Beanstalk.
there for the sake of being there. Just that,
Just to show to their parents.
yeah, just for like a quota lah. Oh,
We need a library.
Yeah, we need a
In a
library.
firefighting training center.
well, another place I never went to was the gym also. The
Oh yeah, gym.
NSCI gym. Yeah, I heard. I don't know. You went there?
No, we but
think
PTP went.
PTP, yes, yes,
PTP
yes.
went to the gym.
They
But it's a tekan session.
from what I heard from them, they always get tekan there lah. It's a gym anyways. You're supposed to do physical activities. So like I think one of them said like one of my friends from PTP said that they got tekan, which is tekan in Singlish is basically like you get physically pushed, like
Also known as punish
punish.
or torture.
Torture or whatever, but it's more of physical activity. They had to do physical training there so badly that the whole floor was wet. It's like flooded, full of sweat, which was to me was quite shocking lah. I mean, I didn't face that, and thankfully lah, I wasn't in the PTP. And speaking of PTP and BRT, PTP, you know what PTP stands for? I forgot.
Physical training phase, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Then BRT
Sounds about
stands
right.
for basic basic what rescuer training. Basic rescue training. Yes. PTP is about 3-4 months, right?
Yeah, it's about there.
Yeah. Then BRT for both of me and Fauzi, both me and Fauzi is about 5 weeks of training. Basically, in comparison, we do everything the same, except that since PTP has a longer duration, they just fill up the gaps with more training and marching. So what I've heard lah, I heard that they always just train, march, and they get quite a bit of free time too. That's just to fill the gaps lah for their 3-4 months of PTP training. For us BRT, it was quite rush. Every day we learn something new. we don't always physically exercise. Of course, there's always physical training,
Yeah.
but there's also learning part. We learn almost every day. We learn new things.
It's
But for
every week
PTP,
different.
PTP they have like gaps where some days they don't learn anything. They just do physical training. Some days, their lucky days, they just basically don't do a lot of things at all. They just iron their uniform, uniform check, whatever. A bit of marching, not a lot for them, because as I said, theirs is dragged to
Yeah.
4 5 months, 3 4 months, whereas ours is 5 weeks, which okay lah. Regardless of PTP or BRT, both
We are still serving.
both we're still serving. Both we experience the same thing, except PTP experience it longer.
Yeah. And what do you think? Okay, SCDF and police, our NS, recruit this. We are still talking about recruit now. So, army, they actually went. Like honestly saying, they went through some shit. They have to do outfield, and they have to dig their own toilet to take a shit, and then we can just
We can
Our-
just go to the toilet.
yeah, our toilet is nearby. We can just say we want to take a shit, and yeah,
Yeah, I want to take a shit.
yeah,
Yeah, we can be excused to actual toilet lah.
Yeah.
But compared to them, they have, when they are in outfield, when they are in the jungle, they have to, that's what you say lah, dig it up lah. Yeah, take a shit in the hole lah.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is a shitty situation lah.
But yeah, for army, I don't know if it's the right word to say, but they kind of have it worse in terms of training wise. But what they train is of course important.
Different.
What, of course, the army, you are going to fight in the jungle, compared to us in police, SPF or SCDF. We don't really need to be in the jungle. We are more in
Urban,
urban areas. We work in the society. That's why we are called the home team, because we don't really go overseas. We only focus more in our own country and urban areas. And as for them, their outfield is important, but to me it's quite rabak lah. Going to the jungle, get mosquito bite, sometimes seeing like supernaturals, especially if you're scared lah. And sleeping outdoors, whatever. You have to face everything like that. It's basically like camping.
Yeah, it's a camping,
Yeah,
but
but
a
hardcore.
torturous camping.
Hardcore. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. What's this? Yeah. So army. In terms of the national service allowance. Yeah. So SCDF, and I'm not sure if SPF has the same allowance as us, but SCDF earns quite a bit more than the people serving the army. Like ours was like, it's a lot more than what as compared to the. Yeah. So what's your
What's my opinion on their salary lah?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, from what I heard, army, they don't pay you a lot for their basic salary. Basic salary is like 300 plus to 400 plus, whereas ours is 400 and above. And how to say basically theirs is usually 100 to 200 lower than us, even if their rank is similar to ours. Let's say a lance corporal there, their pay is 100 or 200 lower than lance corporal in SCDF or in SPF. To me, might be unfair lah. They should be paid more. I don't want to say that we should be paid less, because I love it. I love the pay.
We are not complaining.
We're not complaining.
We are enjoying it.
But
But it's not enough actually.
I mean, they should be paid a bit more. But regardless, people still going to complain that they say, oh, even if they're gonna be paid equally as SDF or SPF serving men. What they're still gonna complain? Oh, if you work outside, you get paid more, etc., etc. Like, remember, this is national service. You're serving the nation. You're not.
You're not actually asking for pay, lah.
Yeah, you're not. It's a job. At the same time, you are
Protecting the
yeah,
people.
you're serving lah. So basically, you shouldn't ask a lot. This is compulsory regardless. They can choose not to pay you and you still have to do it. So yeah, for me, I wouldn't complain so much.
Okay. Okay. In in your experience during NS, right? You know, especially like people like me, I don't have many friends. So yeah. Do you find that during your whole 2 years in NS, have you made any good friends, and are you still other than me, like, are you still in contact with any of them, as good friends or just friends in general?
Oh, friends in NS. Uh, I spend most of my NS time in Provost. That's my vocation, and in my rota, which I work with lah, and I work with them very closely. I work with them for more than 1.5 years. So I am still a bit close with my rota, especially those who are the same batch as me, which is my batch is 135 intake. So I'm still close with 135 intake, rota 2, which was my rota. Last time we hang out was our IPPT lah. We took IPPT for 2017, and that's it. At least we know. I mean, we still talk. At least we still talk, and we can share experience together. Like, okay, we never went to reservice. We never went to IPPT after ORD. So this is the time to discuss. At least you have someone to discuss with. At least if you know something, you can share with them, etc. Because if you after you RD and you don't have friends and you don't communicate with them, it's gonna be difficult for you lah. Because NS is over, but you still have reservice and still quite a few other things to do too. You are still you're still regarded as I think an NS man.
Yeah, NS man.
Yeah. While you're serving NS, you're called an NSF. After you serve NS, after your ORD, you are called an NS man. And NS man, until you finish your reservice, it's about 10 cycles, about at least 5 to 6 years long. So until then, you're still serving the nation. Still, just that you don't really have to. It's not a permanent job. It's just that you're gonna get called for reservice once every 6 months or so. So yeah, it's good to have friends after you already, because as what I say lah, at least you can someone to rely on, someone to discuss, someone to share your views, whatever. It's not the end yet.
Okay.
After this topic, we take a break for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it is dragging quite long. Well, not bad. We only cover the first half, not even half of the points.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, last point.
Okay.
Then after that we can take a break. Oh shit.
Okay.
Still can hear.
Yeah.
Okay. This one will be our last point before we take a break. So, anyway, in NS, right, there's always this one little fucker who's regardless of whether it's your recruit days or after even you get your vocation, there's this bugger that is full of shit lah. Always finding excuses to chowking in whatever way he can. Yeah. And okay, talking about chowking also, right? Don't you think that this chowking guy also somehow, right, can find ways to angkat the higher ups.
Angkat bola.
Yeah. That's the weirdest part lah. I find that the guys that do things worse than, we tried our best, we do lots of hard work, and then the other people that doesn't do as much gets the recognition, and because he angkat his encik, and whatever little things that he did that is not so much, and then he tells his officer that I just I caught a guy with cigarette encik, my name is they say the name. Yeah.
I think this kind of mindset, this kind of attitude goes on to not only just NS. It goes on for what if you're working. It goes on to jobs as well. It goes on to your life, whatever. You will see this kind of people who either like always choking. Choking basically means like to skip work lah, basically. And other than choking, always angkat bola, which is basically like to praise. Yeah. lick
the boots.
Lick the boots. Always like to praise, always like to like a teacher's pet, that kind of attitude. We will, I mean, there is always that kind of person, regardless. There's nothing much for us to do. And I wouldn't recommend you to like bully him or whatever. Oh, like fuck you lah, why you sabo me, whatever. I mean, it's sometimes our fault too. We have to trust each other, but at the same time, don't fuck each other up. Don't sabo each other. You want to choking, you want to angkat bola, do it that doesn't affect me. Like you want to rank up, that's your problem. That's you who gets the up rank. You gets the you have to put on effort for that. But if you are demoting me, if you are causing me to get charged whatever, and it's not your job to do so, you're just doing it so just to angkat bola, just to praise, just to help the officer out. It's not the way to do so. You're just
Bringing others down.
Yeah, bringing others down. Remember,
That's not
we are all
healthy.
serving the NS. We are serving nation together. So
And in the same rota, working together.
Basic.
Yeah.
Worse, if you know the guy for quite a long time, and if you're gonna work with that guy in the future as well, it's worse to bring them down, because if you're
It's
in
like
the,
brother. We are already brothers together.
exactly, you're like brothers, you're buddies. So why bring each other down? If you want to bring someone down, bring someone you don't know. Like,
At least that's okay.
at least that's,
But still
doesn't-
not okay.
who knows, maybe you bring that guy down, you sabotage him for smoking or whatever. Then after you ORD or whatever, you meet him again with his friends or whatever,
luck
then
with
they
your
gang
life.
up on you. Yeah, that's worse lah. Just, I mean, I'm saying like just don't bring others down just for the sake of it, just for your own self. I mean, if you think that it's not wise for your friend to do so, then you advise on them. Tell them, bro, don't smoke here, whatever. You advise them. You
In the same force.
we're in the same force, so just don't bring others down. That's basically about it.
Okay, so we will take a break and then we will continue the pointer in our next session.